Hey, Nova friends, the real estate market has been heating up here in July outside, not necessarily the market itself. The market has cooled down a bit, and I want to share what's been happening here in our July 2024 housing market update. In this video, we're going to talk about what's been going on between these last 60 days. Where are we now in the real estate market? What to expect for the end of the summer? And if you stick around to the very end, I want to share with you my third tip on how to win multiple offer scenario. And of course, when you find value in this video, make sure you like and subscribe. I appreciate that. It encourages me to keep on providing good content. Okay, well, let's look at our stats together as we consider what has happened here in the central Northern Virginia market these last 60 days. Availability on the market. This is inventory. 60 days ago, we had 1,225 homes on the market. Right now, we have 1,468 homes on the market. That's a 20% increase of inventory. And that'll be one of the things we talk about. Inventory is increasing. You've probably been hearing a lot about low inventory, low inventory, low inventory. And it still is low inventory, though there's 20% more right now than there was even 60 days ago. Under contracts, these are pending sales. We were at 1428. Now we're at 1523. That's an increase of 7% more homes are under contract. But when you say 20% more inventory and only 7% more under contract, we still see a little bit of a difference, but buyers are still buying, which is always good. In regards to sold properties over the last 30 days, we had sold properties in 60 days ago, we had 927 sold. This last 30 days, we had 1,243. That is a huge uptick, 34% more homes sold. And honestly, that's just seasonality. Okay, that's just seasonality. A lot of homes were selling there in June because they went under contract in the late spring. And so that's why that number is so big. Months of inventory. 60 days ago, we had 1.3 months of inventory. Right now, we have 1.2 months of inventory. And if you wonder, Sean, how do you figure that out? Well, it's pretty simple. You look to see how many homes closed this last month and how many homes are on the market. And that literally tells us if every single home that closes, that's on the market, closes within the next 30 days, how many months of inventory do we have? Well, we have 1.3 months. So if not one more home hits the market in the next 30 days, every single house would be sold off the market. Now, that's not probable, though 1.2 months of inventory is very low, which is why you're still seeing a little bit of a slower market in different price points. Days on market was 22 days, and now it's 19 days. So it has actually sped up, and particularly in the lower price points, we've seen affect this days on market. List to close price, as we look at this, it hasn't really changed at all. It's still 100.4. So that means the average home closing at the average price point would be selling for about 0.4% more than it's listed for. So the big news, I think, as we look at what has happened in this last month, in the month of June, is I really believe the active listings shows us a lot right now. If we have 1,468 active listings, the average price point for all that is active at the moment is $813,000. Average days on the market for everything active at the moment is 70 days on the market. So just capture that in your brain real quick, because it's really different based upon what has actually sold. When we look at what has sold, last month we had 612,000 was the average price point. This last 30 days, it was $590,000 was the average price point. So everything on the market, the average is $830,000, but the actual average price point that homes are closing is $590,000, which just simply means there is a much bigger market for that average price point. And the market that is feeling the most pressure downwards, it is the higher price point. those are not moving as fast. Average days is 70, where average days for an average home is 19. So the higher price point are beginning to see quite a few more price corrections, trying to entice buyers to buy at that price point. Now, obviously, we know, or we can assume why that is. The higher the price, the higher interest rates are really making affordability very challenging for buyers to afford, unless they are coming with a larger down payment. And so, due to that, really what we're seeing is the interest rates have been still maintaining a slower market. This last 30 days, we've seen about 7% interest rate. It's hovered. It's been above 7% for the last 30 days. Actually, today is the lowest interest that we have seen since March 8th. And so today it came down to 6.85%, which is exciting because we literally haven't seen that since March 8th. And then prior to that, the lowest was 6.63, and that was February 1st. So right now, we'll see if the interest rates actually hang tight and hang at this price point, but it is going to help buyers at this very moment because they've been sitting in high sevens for this last month. So what's the summer going to look like as we end? It's just going to be a little bit slower. The market is still, it's a beauty contest. If the home is priced well and it shows well, the high probability of it selling within the average price point within 19 days is really good. It's really when you start getting in that higher price point range that you're going to start seeing it slow down a little bit. And I would say you just need to have a little bit of extra patience to wait for the right buyer in that price point. Now, as we think about the fall, there's a lot of unknowns, right? It's an election year. That could mean good things, right? The feds are still potentially talking about one more interest decrease, lowering the base rate. If that happens, it'd be awesome. It's probably only going to be maybe 0.25%, so it's probably not going to be anything drastic, but anything would be helpful, right, for affordability because price points have only continued to go up. Homes have only appreciated. So because of that, a lot of people are optimistic that this fall, maybe the interest rates are going to come down. Maybe they can afford a little bit more. But prices are still going up, so just be careful playing the game. But there is still a lot of optimism in the air that the fall could be a very good real estate market. All right, now let me share with you my third out of my 8 tips on how to win a multiple offer scenario. And that is choose a settlement date wisely. Here's what I mean by that. If you are in a multiple offer scenario, you want to help the seller feel very confident in your financing. That is very important. What's one of the ways? Well, last time I shared the tip of using a local lender, but this time, one way to communicate how good your lender is and how good your financing is a fast closing date. So it is best for your real estate agent to identify what the seller's preferred settlement date is. Though there's also a lot of advantage in telling the seller that you'll close in 18 days. Because if the seller sees that you can close in 18 days, they're going to assume you got your financing in order. You have the money to get this done. You're not in pre-qualification status. You are pre-approved. You're ready to rock and roll. And that brings a seller a lot of confidence. So even if you don't need to close that fast, sometimes letting them know that you can will help you win a multiple offer scenario. And at the end of the day, maybe you just got to get the sellers 30 days if that's what they're asking for. Though make sure it's very clear on how fast your lender can close. Now, a good lender should be able to close a loan within 18 to 21 days. Everyone loves the idea of 30 because it just gives plenty of time to get everything done. But if they have it all together early enough, they should be able to close within 18 to 21 days. Honestly, they can close a lot faster than that if they want, but sometimes that does bring a little bit of unneeded stress to the situation. So if you're working with a lender who says they have to have 30 days, I'd say shop around. Okay, honestly, because you want to be able to go to a seller and say, I can close this in 18 days if you want. So that's my recommendation for you to consider how to win multiple offer situations. God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your summer.